Ah yes, Druidic Ritual, a quest that has prevented thousands of RuneScape players from ever touching Herblore. Naturally, that means it is a big classic. One of the few quests in Old School RuneScape that are required for opening a whole new skill to grind. Druids, the biggest hippies out there, love all things nature and wholesome. So tell me why, when I walk up to one, they hand me the most gruesome, animal-slaying, brutal, no-good, rotten, pig-stealing great-grandson of a quest. Today, I'm breaking down the lore, my wild moments of being free in Taverley, and just how much Minecraft and RuneScape differ in their methods of bringing this quest to life. This and more, without the mystery machine, on my Ironman journey to complete every quest in CraftScape. Apparently the name of the guy who starts this quest is pronounced Kaqemeex, but who knew? His parents actually do love him! Aww. And unluckily for us, RuneScape lore makers don't love us, because this quest is a pretty fast one with little crumbs of story. But we do have to love Kaqemeex himself, though. This guy is a follower of Guthix, talks to animals, and is basically the United Nations of climate change. I won't dig too deep into that one, but isn't it funny with the more you grind, the hotter your device gets, and somehow you are single-handedly turning RuneScape's ice mountains into puddles? But Kaqemeex isn't about all that. He's about sweaty Herblore questing, and sends us to someone who has no problem hiring hitmen to take out poor defenseless animals. That's where Sanfew comes in, the leader of the hippie druids in Taverley. Many believe he created Sanfew serum, but let's get real, his name is literally on the potion, so that feels way too obvious, it couldn't have been him. These potions give insane anti-poison effects, so thank you for whoever the real Sanfew is that made Sanfew serum. But aside from all that, there's not much more to say about him. Actually, wait, I guess there is one more thing to say about Sanfew. Yeah, he's a goatweed dealer. Which, side note, that is actually a legit herb you can trade with Sanfew in the original game. Besides his legal side hustles, he also deals with this quest. Sanfew assigns us to butcher 4 animals for their meat. We then have to take this meat and dip it into the Cauldron of Thunder, or what I call Thor's toilet. Then we gotta go back and give the dipped meat to Sanfew. Sanfew, the guy to always do Kaqemeex's dirty work, then sends us back to the very beginning where we need to talk to Kaqemeex. And now we can brew potions through this awesome nepotism. Sounds like a good way to start Herblore to me. Murder a bunch of animals, marinate their meat in a toilet bowl, and then head off to Stonehenge like nothing happened. And I'm not talking about that creepy demon-infested one in Varrock, but the nice hippie version where everyone's welcome, in Taverley. Well, unless of course you forget to pay your drama-inducing membership fees in the original game. But don't you worry, CraftScape doesn't require subscriptions. Though I am sure you are all dying to hear about the Cauldron of Thunder lore, I am too. RuneScape has not released more than this excerpt from their Wikipedia page. The Cauldron of Thunder is a special cauldron that is used in Druidic Ritual. Players need to dip raw chicken, raw beef, raw rat meat, and raw bear meat into it. It is located in Taverley Dungeon, just northeast of the entrance ladder. The cauldron is guarded by 2 level 19 suits of armor that are right outside the gate. Between the cauldron and the entrance are level 22 skeletons. Players with lower combat skills should be aware of this. So like I said, RuneScape lore creators didn't have much love for this one, though the Taverley Dungeon had a tad bit more lore. Back when RuneScape first rolled out in Members Edition, this was the only dungeon available, which meant it got slapped behind a paywall and was literally just called Members Dungeon. Very creative. Through the RuneScape fandom wiki, though, the community has pieced together some interesting theories based on quests tied to the dungeon. The hints inferred from the Velrak the Explorer and Lord Aquarius, if I'm pronouncing that right, and the Zamorakian Evil Within, where the fandom has suggested the dungeon to be a battle scar from the ancient war between gods. The layout of this dungeon further supports this fandom consensus as it looks like a torn apart cavern. And because there's no good reason for the Cauldron of Thunder to be down there, it must have been an ancient porta-potty for the massive thunderous fights. Okay, I came up with that last one, but let's be real, if Asgardians needed a wartime pit stop, wouldn't they have one? No? Alright, moving on. That's the action lore roundup of the Taverley Dungeon. Now, here are some of my key moments dealing with the dungeon and the subsequent Druidic Ritual quest in CraftScape. This is Druidic Ritual. This will allow us to get access to potion making. We're in Lumbridge. Let's say hi to all our friends. Hello, friends. Yo, bro just went ham in the chat. What the heck? Let's face off, man. Bro! I disrespected his whole entire lineage, poor guy. I don't know who you are, boy, but I'm looking for Kaqemeex. Let me get you beacon! Beacon! Give me the beacon. Give me the beacon. I think I may have a worthwhile quest for you, actually. Kinda crazy your timing, because something wrong just happened, and we need you, only you, to do it. Unless you make a new account, then you can do it again. Let's go talk to Sandpaper, or whatever his name was. Sanfew? Sanfew, is that you? Each meat has to be dipped individually into the Cauldron of Thunder for it to work correctly. Yes, what meat? Yeah, all the meat we have. Awesome. Alright, we're on a mission. We're not going to use any tutorials. We're finding this Thunder of Cauldron. This Cauldron of Thunder. Thunder of Cauldron, if it's the last thing we do. Raw rat. Raw beef. Raw chicken. Bear meat. Bear, we respect you in the highest of honors by burying you in the Cauldron of Thunder. I got it. Enjoy! Yes, my adventure was great in first person. And fascinatingly, the differences between this and the third person original RuneScape was not much. Again, a testament of the server staying true to the source material. Well, at least not so different in the meat and bones of the lore of it all, or the main core of Kaqemeex to Sandpaper to Dungeon to Sandpaper to Kaqemeex steps of the quest. The game was only basically modified in setup, scenery, and skeletons. Okay, so maybe different in the bones after all. But the differences in the two were basically centralized in the Kaqemeex being the only druid in the Stonehenge type of circle where there's multiple druids in the original game. The Taverley dungeon layout is heavily modified between the RuneScape and CraftScape versions of this game. The Cauldron of Thunder was also unguarded in CraftScape by the bony evildoers, skeletons. These were the only substantial changes I could find when I was comparing the two quest playthroughs. This to say that, all in all, Druidic Ritual opened up a whole new possibility for me in my adventure in Ironman mode. There are certain quests from here on out that will require an embargoed trader like me to need to pick flowers. And now I've been given permission by the great hippies across the land to do so, thus bringing my mission to do all quests in CraftScape on Ironman mode closer to success. Thank you so much for watching the action, and watching me hang out with nature and explain the ins and outs of the not-so-normal hippies who like sacrifices and meat baths. If you were rather fond of this video, please hit like, subscribe, clack that bell notification button, and join the official Tomoa Discord, where a growing community of gaming accomplishments are highlighted, and you can even get special achievements for submitting your video game challenges. And in closure, I bid thee farewell, and blah blah.